You guys, so it was a 7-1 demolition of PSV by Arsenal. It's also advantaged Real Madrid heading to the Wanda Metropolitano. And Aston Villa, who are sitting 10th in the Premier League, might just be making a push for the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. Let's talk about it. Welcome to UEFA Champions League nights, day 1 of the round of 16. But if you haven't seen my face and you don't know who I am, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Just Max, and on this channel I discuss football from the Prem to La Liga and of course the UEFA Champions League. And we're about to dive into the round of 16 matches. The day kicked us off with Club Brugge versus Aston Villa. Now, if you remember Club Brugge's route to the round of 16, they had to come through the playoff phase after dispatching Atalanta. So they were riding on a very, very good momentum coming into this game. However, Aston Villa was one of those teams that were able to secure their automatic qualifiers in this year's Champions League group stage format. Granted that Aston Villa's form in my opinion, in the Premier League hasn't been the best. They're currently sitting 10th in the Premier League, so I wasn't sure whether Club Brugge or Arsenal who was going to be able to win this match. So I hesitated giving a prediction because I felt both teams were evenly matched. When this match started, Aston Villa were the first to hit against Club Brugge. They scored the first goal within, I want to say, the first 5 minutes. And to their credit, Club Brugge did not falter. They were resilient in the way that they stood up. They were resilient in the way that they attacked Aston Villa. Sometimes football is a game of luck. It's just what it is. Because if you look at the statistics just on paper, Club Brugge should have won this game. They played the better game. They attacked Aston Villa every which way. They turned them every which way but loose. But sometimes it just doesn't happen the way it's supposed to happen. Club Brugge were able to get back their goal just before halftime. And so we went into the half on 1-1. And I thought that was a very well-deserved, draw at the time. And I thought that maybe it's okay. Maybe there will be, with all the pressure they were piling on Aston Villa, maybe they will be able to take something out of the second half and turn the luck around. But luck was firmly on Aston Villa's side. Club Brugge on multiple occasions were a whisker away from scoring the second goal. They came literally this close on multiple occasions, but it just wasn't meant to be. And what was the add insult upon injury, in my opinion, was that after putting on a fantastic performance, not only were they undone by an unfortunate, heartbreaking own goal, they still went on to concede another penalty that was duly dispatched by Asensio. Which is to tell you, when I say this, like, sometimes football is a game of luck. It's not about who is the best team on the day. It's who is the team that could take their chances. Because if you, like I said earlier, if you look at the statistics, Club Brugge should have come out with the victory clear on. But the only statistic that counts in this case, ball possession, shots on goals, fouls conceded, fouls won, all of that doesn't count. The only statistic that counts is how many goals were you able to put in the back of the net. And on today's occasion of the UEFA Champions League, Aston Villa were able to take a 3-1 win over Club Brugge. And what makes it worse is that they played in Club Brugge's home. So now we're going back to Aston Villa's house for the second leg, and Aston Villa will definitely have the home advantage to be able to see this over the line. But let me know who you think is going to come out on top in the second leg of the UEFA Champions League. Arsenal, very curious team, because this game was bonkers to me. It was a 7-1 demolition of PSV. Listen to me, PSV ain't no chops. They are a solid team from the Dutch league. But today, everything was just clicking from Arsenal. It was like Arsenal has decided to prioritize the Champions League because clearly the Premier League is gone away from them. And the way they attacked PSV today, from the get-go, you could see that it was coming. They were able to score 3 goals, I want to say, in 30 minutes. At some point in this match, they were averaging a goal every 10 minutes. At the 50th minute of the match, Arsenal had already scored 5 goals. And it wasn't 5 fluke goals. Those were 5 well-taken goals. And it was on every occasion, on every statistic, Arsenal was the better team. I was just flabbergasted because I was thinking to myself, where is this Arsenal in the Premier League? Where is this Arsenal? And why can't they play like this? And if I'm going to look at PSV a little bit, when they came back by scoring that 1 goal in the first half before they went into the halftime, it was a 3-1 to Arsenal. So PSV had just scored a goal just before the half, and I thought maybe this was the thing that they needed to rejuvenate themselves to be able to come through. Maybe get a draw, maybe get maybe a 3-2 loss. It wouldn't be the worst thing that could ever happen to you in the Champions League. You can live to fight another day. What I saw from PSV in the second half was not a team that looked, convinced that they could do something, in my opinion. They just didn't show up. The defense was taking a holiday. The defense was in Cancun. The defense said, listen to me, we don't do that over here. The defense said, do you want to score? I can just open. It was like the defense were Arsenal players, except they were wearing PSV uniform. The defense were against PSV. The defense said, listen, quarterfinals, we're done. We don't want to be, no. The defense says, no. What? Play? Mark? No. We don't do that. And no. And honestly, the way the goals kept on, it was, to me, I was trying to keep up with the PSV game, the Arsenal game, and the Real Madrid game. And it was like every time that I flicked the channel, Arsenal had scored. Every time I flicked the channel, Arsenal had scored. And I'm like, well, goddamn. What's going on? So, in my opinion, as of right now, I'm saying it, I call it, Arsenal are the first team to make it to the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League, because I do not see PSV coming back from a 7-goal deficit. As how? But that's my opinion. Let me know what you think. Do you think PSV can turn this around and come back from a 7-goal deficit? Because I definitely do not. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And now we're going to talk about the top billing match, Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. When I saw the draw and it was Real Madrid to take on Atletico Madrid, I was salivating and foaming at the mouth. As you know, on this channel, it's always going to be Vizca Barça. So any opportunity for Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid to batter themselves, sign me up. So, of course, I was excited to see Atletico and Real Madrid draw each other. Now, when I looked at Atletico Madrid's game leading up until this match and even beyond, I knew that they had an intense run of games coming up. Atletico Madrid are playing Barcelona 2 times in the Copa del Rey. Atletico Madrid are going to play Real Madrid twice. And Atletico Madrid still have to play Barcelona 1 time in La Liga. So, they've played a few of those games now. So, but from the time the draw was made to the point where we are now, Atletico Madrid had to face Barcelona and Real Madrid 5 times in 9 games. So I knew it was a very difficult game for Atletico Madrid. Out of those 9 games that they were scheduled to play, they have now played 3, and I think that they've done well. They came out on a 4-4 draw to Barcelona in the Copa del Rey. They won in La Liga over the weekend, and now they've lost 2-1 to Real Madrid. But is 2-1 the worst thing that could happen to Atletico Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu? I don't think so. I think they did well. Now, let me tell you why. When the game started, it was amazing the way Real Madrid came out. They played well, and I think both teams are feeling each other, of course. But the one brilliant moment that set them apart and showed us that we were in for a kicker is when the ball was played over the top to Rodrigo, who was able to take the ball and run past Javi Galán. Javi Galán is that defender that Lamine Yamal was putting through it in the Copa del Rey match, in case you don't. Like, this man has been through a lot in the last 2 games, and he's going to still be through a lot moving forward, because they still have 3 more matches between Real Madrid and Barcelona. So yeah, Rodrigo was able to run past Javi Galán, and he then sets himself very well, be able to move the ball to his preferred left foot, and then strikes it very well, like an excellent goal. And I thought to myself, and this was on the 3rd minute, by the way, and I thought to myself, oh wow, because this was not what we had. Atletico Madrid are the team that are playing better. They are clearly in the better run of form. They clearly have won all the games, while Real Madrid, on the other hand, have struggled for wins in La Liga. I think they've only won one game in 5 matches in La Liga. So to be able to take a 1-0 lead within the first 3 minutes of the game was not what I expected. But much to their credit, Atletico Madrid did not back down. And if I were to define this game in a phrase, it would be under something called individual brilliance, because Atletico Madrid were brought into the game through an individual brilliance by Julian Alvarez. Now, I am going to let myself tell you what I thought about Julian Alvarez, especially after his performance on the weekend, because I think that this man is one of the most underrated and underestimated football player today. And let me just play what I said over the weekend after their performance, because I think that best sums up Julian Alvarez, because I don't have anything to add. I think it's time that we have an honest conversation about Julian Alvarez in La Liga this season. From time to time, I usually see people talk about, Julian Alvarez. There's a lot of disrespect that he has to endure. Nevertheless, that this man is a Premier League title holder, a world champion, and much more. And right now, Julian Alvarez seems to be the reason why Atletico Madrid are pushing Barcelona and Real Madrid all the way to the line in this La Liga title race. This has just been a revelation. It seems to me the way he plays, 90 million for him was a bargain, because every time he turns up for Atletico Madrid, he shows up and shows out. In the midweek versus Barcelona, he got the party started. Today, in a very critical moment against Athletic Club, when they were finding it very difficult to break the deadlock, he was thrown in and immediately he was able to get the deadlock broken. He is the reason why they are now top of the La Liga table. And I know they did not start him from the beginning because they were trying to conserve his energy, because they do have to play Real Madrid in midweek. But this man deserves a little bit more respect. Every time that Atletico Madrid have needed a goal this season, guess who they called? Yes, you guessed it, Julian Alvarez. And he has every single time answered the call. Well, there you have it. Everything I said about Julian Alvarez in that video was true over the weekend, and it certainly was true today. But the game would end up being won by Brahim Díaz through, again, another moment of individual brilliance, when he was able to shimmy and slot the ball past 2 defenders, 2 very well-drilled defenders. Atletico Madrid were a very good defending team. So give Brahim Díaz his credit to be able to get that goal from that angle past 2 defenders. It does give Ancelotti something to think about, because when I saw that goal go in, knowing that Brahim Díaz also scored on the weekend as well, I just said to myself, Jude Bellingham, I am fearing for your position, because it seemed to me that someone wants to collect your job. Yeah, someone wants to come and collect your job. Yes, because this 2 period that Jude Bellingham has been away, Brahim Díaz has put down the gauntlet and said, Ancelotti, play me. I am good too, and I am him. And of course, the game will end up ending 2-1, but is this the worst thing that could happen for Atletico Madrid? Absolutely not, because now they take the game to the Wanda Metropolitano, which is Atletico Madrid's home. And unlike what Manchester City displayed in the Santiago Bernabeu or in the Etihad, I do expect a display from Atletico Madrid at the Wanda. And I know that it's still all to play. I still think that Real Madrid, if they want to secure that quarterfinal position, there's still a lot of games left to be played, especially in the upcoming 90. But at the moment, it's at advantage Real Madrid. And I'm going to leave it on that. And finally, the last game for day 1 of the UEFA Champions League was the game between Dortmund and Lille. Dortmund took an early lead, and I thought that they were going to be able to hold out for the win. Reason being, Lille were throwing everything at Dortmund, including the kitchen sink. Both teams were not the best in terms of making shots on target, but they were very good at, shooting. But Lille tried everything. Lille did everything they needed to do and more, except find the goal, until they did. And honestly, when I look at the way the game came, there's nothing too much to say about the game, because it wasn't, for me, a particularly exciting game, especially in comparison to all the other people that played today. But a 1-1 draw between Dortmund and Lille, in my opinion, is the correct result. I'm excited for Lille. but who's gonna win this game? Let me know in the comment section. But this has been day one of the UEFA Champions League night. I will see you in day two. Let me know who you think between Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid who's gonna come out on top. I'll be back. So welcome back to day two of the UEFA Champions League night. Goalkeeping masterclass from Alisson and Szczesny was certainly enough to keep their teams afloat, while teams like Leverkusen and PSG crumbled like the walls of Jericho. Let's dive into it. Because I'm already wearing a Barcelona t-shirt, I'm just going to go ahead and start with Barcelona, who are my team. When I first saw this draw when it came up, I was psyched for this game. Granted, I did want Benfica to qualify, but I never expected that we were going to play them again, because we have already played them in the group stage. And if you remember what that game was like in the group stage, it was a 5-4 win for Barcelona, one of the most epic games of the group stage. Barcelona were down and then made a wonderful remontada to win the game on the dead by Raphinha. So leading up until this match, Benfica had been building this up as an opportunity for them to get their revenge on Barcelona. And when I tell you that this was one of those games where there was no room for errors, the tension was already there, there was legacy. Today, I went through the highs and the lows of being a Barcelona fan. Within the first 1 minute, Benfica were already showing why they were here. They almost took the lead. But Szczesny, what a time for him to put on his best display for Barcelona. He was solid in that goalkeeping position today, and he was able to repel attack upon attack. Barcelona did end up finding a foothold in the game, but it was just almost snatched from them when Pau Kubasi made an ill-timed tackle and ended up getting a red card. Now, I am going to say the same thing to Pau Kubasi that I said over the weekend in my review of the Real Madrid game. Now, listen to me, when I love Pau Kubasi down, and I am going to chalk this one up to youthful exuberance and the fact that he still has a lot of learning to do. He is 18-year-old after all. I would have preferred that Pau Kubasi not make that tackle and Barcelona have 11 men on the field than he did make that tackle, risk that red card, and then Barcelona went on to lose. Now, with the benefit of hindsight, Barcelona did end up winning this game, but it could have gone sorely wrong. But he did do that tackle, and I'm not harsh on Pau. I love Pau. I'm not harsh on him. I take that because I know that there's still some development there, and he's going to sit with this one and feel really bad, so there's no need for me to pile on him. Benfica were amazing. They came out, they understood the assignment of the day, they pressed Barcelona. And honestly, I also want to give credit to Hansi Flick and the way he was able to coach this man for Barcelona. If this was the old Barcelona team, they would have crumbled. I certainly did. My watch was giving me notifications that my heart rates were going up. I have a picture somewhere. Maybe I would insert it, maybe I wouldn't. But let me tell you, I was so stressed because if you remember, this was exactly the same situation that Barcelona found themselves last season when they were playing PSG. I think it was an ill-timed tackle by Ronaldo Araujo on Bacola, and Barcelona were down to 10 men. And mind you, at the time, Barcelona were winning that match comfortably, but then ended up losing spectacularly. So my anxiety in this match was that Barcelona were going to end up having to lose this game, that we should honestly win, but that was not the case. And I want to say this is down to wonderful coaching by Hansi Flick and his coaching staff. The ability for them to be able to come through adversity, the way that he has been able to build belief amongst this team is remarkable. Even though it was 10 men in the first half, Barcelona still had good opportunities where they were able to press and on multiple occasions could have found the back of the net. But again, I have to say, Szczesny, what a time for you to wake up and decide to put in your best performance for Barcelona, because today he was just a revelation. He was amazing. Every time that Benfica came forward, they looked threatening, they looked deadly, but guess who was there? Szczesny. He was stopping every shot. His full experience as a goalkeeper came through today. It would have been very difficult for anybody to believe that just a few short months ago, this man was certainly sitting on a beach somewhere in Spain because he was retired, and now he's saving Barcelona in the Champions League. As I watched this game, the thing that kept coming to my mind also was Hansi Flick. I've been seeing that Marc-Andre ter Stegen is working so hard to be able to come back this season for Barcelona. And with the way Szczesny has been playing for Barcelona, I don't know that Marc-Andre ter Stegen is still the out-and-out first choice goalkeeper for Barcelona. Let me know if you think Marc-Andre ter Stegen is still the Barcelona first choice, because Szczesny has just been putting in a shift for Barcelona. But beyond that, I am so excited. Everybody that played this game, Raphinha was amazing. The way he was able to take that one chance. The goal came from a defensive mistake from Benfica. Otherwise, they played a very good game. And to be able to seize the moment when it came, a long range shot buried to the keeper's left-hand corner. Amazing stuff. And this is why, for me, Raphinha is my Mr. Ballon d'Or this season. I've been saying it all season. He's the Ballon d'Or. Like, he's just shown up every big game for Barcelona. He won it the last time Barcelona faced Benfica, and he won it again today for them. Pedri was amazing. He was the man of the match. He was just doing what Pedri usually does. I would encourage you, if you don't watch Barcelona games, please watch Barcelona games. There's so many things that Pedri brings to the pitch that doesn't translate when you watch a 20 or 10 minutes compilation on YouTube. Like, he was just amazing. The way he controlled the tempo, the way he was able to wriggle out of tight spaces today, he was amazing for Barcelona, and that's why he was the man of the match. But all in all 10 men of Barcelona today, in my opinion, achieved legendary status. Why? Because they went to Portugal and they did the impossible. They faced adversity and they came up on top. Now they're going to take the game back to the Montjuic in Barcelona's home. And I have no shade of a doubt that Barcelona will be coming through. But let me know what you think about this game, because now we're going to talk about the other crazy game in the second night of the UEFA Champions League, and that's PSG versus Liverpool. Now, this was the game that everybody wanted to watch. And it was so bonkers because everybody was pissed off. Like, why did UEFA have Barcelona, Bayern, and PSG playing at the same time? These were three big games. Like, how are we going to be able to manage it? But we all knew that this game between PSG and Liverpool was going to be top billing. Why? Because PSG were coming in red hot. The way they dispatched Stade Brestois in the round of, I wanted to say the round of 16, but it's actually the playoff stage. The way they've been playing in their league, they have just been taking down opponent after opponent. And to the point that some people are now putting Ousmane Dembele in the Ballon d'Or conversation. Not for me. But, it's been said, because he's put in like a very, very good performance. So even up until the weekend, I can't remember who they played, but I was just thinking about it, saying, I'm so glad that we're not the ones playing PSG, because there was an opportunity for us, Barcelona, to play PSG. But I'm so glad that this is not our problem, because PSG were coming in hot. Now, if you juxtapose that against Liverpool's performances in the league of late, you would see that it's different. Whereas Liverpool started out the season red hot, they have kind of slowed down. Yes, they are still winning, but the performance is not the same as it was. They're not winning games easy. They're having to come through adversity. They look tired and exhausted, but still are able to notch up win, which is what separates champions from losers. And so when we were coming into this game, it was supposed to be top billing. And it did not disappoint, because Liverpool came in not understanding the assignment at first. PSG came in and battered Liverpool every which way. They turned them every which way but loose. They threw the kitchen sink at them. When you look at the statistics of this game, Liverpool ended up winning this game 1-0, but they had no business winning this game. They absolutely had no business. This is one of those times when I often say that football is a very cruel sport. Because tell me why PSG had over 65% of the ball possession. They had 29 shots, 10 on target, and did not score. Meanwhile, Liverpool only had one shot on target, one shot in total in the entire match, and they were able to find the back of the net. Just like Szczesny, this was another great performance by Alisson. Alisson in the goalkeeping position for Liverpool, he was magnificent. He came through. He ensured that they were able to live to fight another day. If not for Alisson in the back for Liverpool, Liverpool would have conceded not less than 7 goals in this game. However, his whole experience came through. There is a reason why he is currently one of the best goalkeepers in the world. And I just have to give him credit. He and Chesney put on a goalkeeping exhibition today. And it's one of those moments where, yes, the person who scored the goal is going to get all the credit. But really, you just have to sit down or stand up rather and give a clap for the goalkeeper, because not for his heroics, this game could have turned the other way. Now, as I looked at PSG at the end of the match, I am heartbroken for them. I don't like PSG by any stretch of the imagination. I'm never going to lie about that. You know, our two clubs, well, we don't go very well. But like when you play like this, when you play the best game you've ever played in a UEFA Champions League match and you still lose, make it make sense. And now they have to go to Anfield for a second leg, trailing 1-0. Do you think that they can win? Do you think that PSG can go to Anfield and win Liverpool, especially after they just played the best they could ever play and they did not win? Let me know in the comment section, because this is now a conundrum for PSG. They have a problem that they need to get sorted out before next week. And that problem is, how do we get the ball past Alisson? Because today, 29 shots, 10 on target, and 0 goals. 0 goals. It's literally one of the games of the season. For Arne Slot, I have to say, this man has been able to teach his team to be able to win, whether win well, win ugly. They have just been able to rise like no other. And you have to give this man his credit. He is currently, I want to say, with Hansi Flick in the running for coach of the season. But let me know what you think about this game and Arne Slot's coaching of Liverpool in the comment section as well. Now we're going to talk about the game between Bayern Munich and Bayern Leverkusen. And honestly, it ended 3-0 and I'm not surprised. Reason being, there's just something about German clubs when they play Bayern Munich that I don't understand it. I sometimes feel like, do you guys have too much respect for those people that you guys cannot win? Make it make sense. Because for me, I don't know. Whenever German clubs come up against Bayern Munich, I don't have expectation that they're going to win. I just don't. So when I saw the draw that, it's going to be Bayern Leverkusen by Bayern Munich, I always thought that it was already, let's just chuck Bayern Munich into the win column, because there's something, German clubs don't win Bayern Munich. It's just what it is. And this game was no different. It was a 3-0 win for Bayern Munich. Bayern Leverkusen, they started out the game okay, but Bayern Munich, they showed intent, scored a very good goal from the 9th minute of the game by Harry Kane. And then it just kind of got away from Bayern Leverkusen at that point. They just never got into it, from my perspective anyway. They ended up going down a man down in the 62nd minute, and unlike Barcelona, it was downhill from that moment. The game statistics ended up being 17 shots compared to Bayern Leverkusen's 3 shots. Out of the 17 shots that Bayern Munich had, they had 6 on target. They were able to score 3. They had a 65% ball possession and almost double the amount of passes by Bayern Leverkusen. So if you ask me right now, do I think that Bayern Leverkusen will be able to come back from a 3-goal deficit to Bayern Munich in the second leg? I don't think so. I think that we can firmly welcome Bayern Munich as the second team to make it to the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League after Arsenal. But let me know if I'm being premature, and let me know if you think, you know what, Bayern Leverkusen can come back. I don't think so. But let me know what you think. The final game of the UEFA Champions League night for today was Inter Milan versus Feyenoord. It's funny that I say it's the final game for me, because it was the first game that kicked us off today's match proceeding. Inter Milan ended up coming out of that game as 2-0 winners, and honestly, I'm not surprised. As the sole team representing Italy in this Champions League, they had a lot of pressure, but I had full confidence that Inter Milan were going to be able to come through this match because of the way they've been playing of late. And I always felt like Feyenoord had come a bit too far in their Champions League journey, and this was the correct result in my opinion. Goals for Marcus Thuram and of course Lautaro Martinez on either sides of the half was enough to secure the win for the Italian club. And honestly, It was the correct result. That Marcus Thuram goal was a striker's goal. When I saw it, it reminded me a little bit of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. It's one of those goals that it's not like a technique kind of goal. It's kind of like sheer will and determination, and that you're going to it's going to enter whether you like it or not. That was the kind of goal that it was, in my opinion. It's not a shame to lose to Inter Milan. You've done well, Feyenoord. Don't feel bad. You guys have done well. You've put in a very good performance. Many have come. They did not make it to the round of 16, but here you are. But I think it's the end of the road, especially after you've lost 2-0 at home. But let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments. Let me know which was your favorite game from both nights of the UEFA Champions League. Let me know also who you think is going to be proceeding to the next round next week. I want to know all of your thoughts and more in the comment section. Let's have a conversation going. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you watched up until this point, remember to like, subscribe, and do all the things. Share to your family, friends, relatives. I am trying to grow this channel, and I definitely need your help. But until next time, bye guys.